7 American battleships are destroyed or knocked out of commission. Fortunately for America, its 3 Pacific aircraft carriers are at sea when the attack occurs. They are now all that is left to defend America's western coast. A united America declares war on Japan on December the 8th. 3 days later, Germany and Italy declare war on the United States. The war is now truly a world war. Hoping to dominate the entire Pacific region, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor is quickly followed by the capture of Guam, Wake, and the Philippine Islands. But their advance is finally halted with the battles of Coral Sea and Midway. By breaking Japan's secret military codes, America knows in advance that a Japanese invasion force is moving through the Coral Sea towards New Guinea for an eventual invasion of Australia. Armed with this information, a smaller force of American carriers intercepts the convoy. The engagement marks the beginning of a new era in military tactics. For the first time, aircraft carriers will do battle. Sea is fought entirely by planes as both sides attempt to destroy the other's carriers. Japanese and American ships do not even come in sight of one another as the entire battle is fought in the air. After 2 days of intense aerial attacks, both sides withdraw. They have each lost 1 carrier. Both sides claim victory, but the Japanese invasion is turned back. It is but a prelude to the epic Battle of Midway. In May of 1942, an armada of some 200 Japanese ships sails for the Midway Islands. Again, the American Navy is forewarned by information secured through the breaking of the Japanese military codes. Like Coral Sea, the Battle of Midway is an aerial battle. For 4 days, the 2 navies fight for their lives against plane attacks. Their bombs dropped and low on fuel, damaged planes seek the safety of their carriers. many Japanese pilots, there is no flat up to return to. 4 Japanese carriers and 1 heavy cruiser are sunk. More than 300 planes are lost, and 3,500 men are dead. The U.S. Navy suffers the loss of 1 carrier and 1 destroyer, 150 planes, and 300 men. The invasion of Midway is canceled. It is the turning point in the Pacific War, a battle from which the Japanese Navy will never recover. The battle for control of the Atlantic Ocean is changing as well. The German U-boat, for so long a terrifying and effective weapon against Allied shipping, begins suffering heavy losses. Once free to roam the Atlantic in wolf packs to prey on nearly defenseless merchant ships, the U-boats are stopped by better radar, improved convoy techniques, and the use of air and sea escorts. By the end of the war, an assignment to a German U-boat means almost certain death, as few of them return home from sea. Just as the tides are changing in the world's oceans, the fate of the Allies in the desert begins to shift as well. For months, the North African campaign has been a series of attacks and counterattacks. While the British hold on to Egypt, Rommel commands most of North Africa. Dissatisfied with the progress made by his generals, Churchill travels to Egypt to see firsthand the reasons for the stalemate. In a shift of command, General Bernard Montgomery is placed in charge of the British 8th Army. In October of 1942, with his troops amassed, resupplied, and enjoying a 2-to-1 advantage, Monty attacks. Rommel is pushed out of Egypt and across the Libyan desert. In fleeing, the Desert Fox directly disobeys Hitler's orders to stand and fight. His retreat of over 1,000 miles is one of the longest in military history. The British move Rommel from the east. The American GI makes his first appearance. From the west, General Dwight Eisenhower lands invasion forces in French Morocco and Algeria. Rommel, now pursued on 2 fronts, realizes the African campaign is lost. His troops hold out until the spring of 1943, when 250,000 Italian and German soldiers surrender. Rommel and less than 1,000 of his men escape to the continent. The momentum of the war had suddenly shifted to the Allies. Hitler and his seemingly invincible armies had now been defeated on battlegrounds in Africa and Russia. The dreams of a Pacific empire for Japan were beginning to set. And Mussolini's visions of conquest would soon turn nightmare. Italy itself will be the next battleground. This Mediterranean island is the stepping stone to Italy. Operation Husky is commanded by British General Montgomery.